Hey everyone, time for another round of Which Rhythm Do You Hear? This is going to be another version of the game where instead of dividing into teams, you're going to play by yourself at your desk. So today's version of this game is going to be focusing on 16th notes. Tiri tiri, sometimes people say tika tika. And we have spent a lot of time with tiri tiri with a group of 4 16th notes grouped together. But for today's examples, we're going to be encountering different ways to use 16th notes, where they will be included with 8th notes in a rhythmic pattern. So the most common 16th note pattern that you know so far is that tiri tiri or wani yanda. But we also sometimes will see 16th notes attached to a single 8th note. And sometimes you have that 8th note that comes in the front of your 16th note pattern, a single 8th note followed by 2 16ths, which would be a ti tiri. And sometimes you have the 16th notes coming first and then the 8th note coming afterwards, tiri ti. So let's take a look at our first example. This is question number 1. And we have at the top a rhythm that sounds like this. I'm going to ask you to be my echo. Tiri tiri ti 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 tiri ta. Ready? Try it. Here you go. Tiri tiri ti 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 tiri ta. I think for 16th notes, you might have noticed I think it's easier to go back and forth with 2 hands rather than trying to clap really quickly with your hands. So that was the first part of number 1. Here's the second part of number 1. Ti tiri ti tiri ti ti ta. Ready? Try it with me. Here we go. Ti tiri ti tiri ti ti ta. So that was your middle example on number 1. Here's the bottom example from number 1. Sounds like this. Ti 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 tiri ti ti ta. Ready? Try it with me. Here we go. Ti 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 tiri ti ti ta. All right. So let's go ahead and listen to number 1 and see if you can pick out if it's the top, the middle, or the bottom rhythm that you're hearing. I'll play each example 3 times. That was the first time. The second time. And the last time. So, did you think it was the top, the middle, or the bottom? If you guessed the middle example, you're correct. On to number 2. All right, so the very top part of number 2 would sound like this. Notice that we have those 16th notes that come before the 8th note. Tiri ti ta, tiri ti ta. Ready? Try it. Here we go. Tiri ti ta, tiri ti ta. The middle example of number 2, ooh, I love it. It's actually got both ti tiri and tiri ti. It sounds like this. Ti tiri tiri ti 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 ta. Ready? Try it with me. Here we go. Ti tiri tiri ti 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 ta. And the third example sounds like this. Ti 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 tiri ta. Ready? Try it with me. Here we go. Ti 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 tiri ta. All right, let's give number 2 a listen and see if we can figure out which one it is. The second time. And the last time. All right, friends, do you think it's the top, the middle, or the bottom example? If you guessed the top example, you're correct. Nice. On to number 3. For number 3, the very first part sounds like this. T, tiri, tiri, ta. Ready? Try it. Here you go. T, tiri, tiri, ta. The middle part of number 3 sounds like this. We have a half note at the end. T, tiri, ta. Ready? Try it with me. Here we go. T, tiri, ta. And the last part of number 3, well, actually, I think we did it in the last example, so we won't go over that one again. All right, let's listen to number 3 the first time. And number 3 the second time. And number 3 the third time. All right, do you think it is the top, the middle, or the bottom example? If you guessed the very bottom example, you got it correct. Let's move on to number 4. All right. For number 4, I think we need to go over the very first one that's up at the top. It sounds like this. Ta, ti, tiri, ti, ta. Ready? Try it with me. Here we go. Ta, ti, tiri, ti, ta. And that's it. All right, let's go ahead and listen to number 3. Oh, no, number 4. All right, here it is the first time. The second time. And the last time. All right. Do you think it's the top, the middle, or the bottom? Well, if you guessed the middle, or the second example, you got it right. Nice work. Let's move on to number 5. All right, here's number 5 the first time. Number 5 the second time. And number 5 the last time. All right, do you think it's the top, the middle, or the bottom? If you guessed the very top, you got that one correct. Good job on number 5. Let's keep going. Number 6. All right, I think we've seen all of number 6 before, so let's go ahead and listen to it the first time. Number 6 the second time. And number 6 the last time. All right, for number 6, did you think it was the top, the middle, or the bottom example? If you guessed the bottom for number 6, well, that is the correct answer, my friends. Nice work. And we're moving on to number 7. All right, here's number 7 the first time. Number 7 the second time. And number 7 the very last time. All right, for number 7, was it the top, the middle, or the bottom? If you guessed the very top example for number 7, that's the right answer. Good job. Just 3 more examples. Here's number 8, the very first time. Number 8, the second time. Number 8, the last time. this one is kind of cool. I am going to go ahead and let you know that if you guessed the very first example up at the top here, you got the correct answer. Nice work. All right, 2 more left, my friends. Here's number 9. Let's listen to number 9 the first time. Number 9 the second time. And number 9 the last time. All right. So, did you think it was the top, the middle, or the bottom? Believe it or not, this is another one where the top is the correct answer. I feel like it's been several in a row like that. All right, we're on to our last example. Number 10, let's hear it the very first time. And number 10 the second time. And number 10 the very last time through. So, which did you think? Is it the top, the middle, or the bottom example? For number 10, if you guessed the very bottom example, that is the correct answer. So, how did it go, friends? Did you find that like the 16th notes were kind of tricky, or were you able to hear when we had the difference between T-tiri and tiri-T? That was which rhythm do you hear? 16th notes version. If you got 10 out of 10, hey, give yourself a round of applause. If you got 1 out of 10, give yourself a round of applause. You got 1. That's pretty good. This stuff isn't always easy, which is why we'll keep putting it in front of you, and hopefully it will start to become more sensible, more logical, where you don't have to think quite so hard about the right answer. I'll see you in the next activity.